Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about food noise. What it is, did Mounjaro help, and just what additional steps that, we could be taking to silence it. I'm kind of excited to record this video today because I think, at times we are going through the motions, and, I think it takes stepping out of the comforts of our normal day-to-day to see the progress that we have made on our weight loss journey. When I first started taking Mounjaro, one of the things I read was that it decreases your appetite. I was like, sign me up. And then I kept seeing the term food noise all over social media. And I'm 16 months in and I'm down 88 pounds, and I don't have much of the benefits of the food noise reduction and appetite suppression like, I had when I first started. But I'm not surprised by that. 16 months is a long time to be working on my health, be on this weight loss journey, and I know my weight loss has slowed down drastically. So I'm starting to look at non-scale victories that I could celebrate, or also like ways to test myself to see how well I respond when I change things up and I put myself in a situation with, some temptations. Which leads me to why I thought about doing this video on food noise today, because one of my biggest tests this year was that I just went on a long weekend in Hershey, PA with some friends. We did the spa, we went to a concert, did some shopping, we hit up Hershey Park. I was sore for days from some of those rides. They were so intense. I think I'm getting old, whatever. But if you haven't been to Hershey, it is the mecca of chocolate and candies. Temptations are everywhere you turn. I checked into Hotel Hershey and it was like, here, thanks for checking in, enjoy your stay. Here's some free full-size chocolate bars. And the shower toiletries are even chocolate mandarin scented, so you smell like chocolate all day long, which I'm not complaining about. We grabbed lunch and they were like, here's some free Hershey Kisses on the way out. Went to the bar for a drink and all the cocktails were chocolate themed. I was like, hello, sign me up for that chocolate martini. It was outrageous, but in a good way. I mean, yes, it is Hershey. This is exactly what I was expecting. I'm not surprised. Every time I go, I'm like, it's chocolate overload. But something happened that I wasn't expecting, and that was I didn't overindulge, nor did I just want to eat everything at once. I didn't have the desire to, go grab a chocolate bar and then go get a piece of candy and then go get a piece of cake. It was a real test for me. And yes, I do go to the beach a couple times a month, and I do love to meet friends, out for dinner, or family out for dinner or lunch. And I don't know, I couldn't believe it. I was surrounded by some of my favorite sweets and I could take it or leave it. So that had me going down memory lane, and I started thinking about when did, my food noise quiet itself, and what is this food noise that I'm talking about? Because as I've said before, I've never heard about this term prior to taking Mounjaro. I don't know why that was so new to me, because after I Googled it, I was shocked I did not see a picture of myself next to that definition, because it's characterized by persistent thoughts about food. What to eat, when to eat, how much we should be eating, reflecting on what we've already eaten, or interrogating ourselves after we've already finished eating, and why did I do that to myself? That's me. Then I read that food noise might be, craving a cheeseburger from your favorite restaurant, while then debating with yourself whether you should just cook the dinner that you had planned, a nice simple dinner to eat that night. Again, that's me. I don't know how many times that I told my doctor this exact same thing, and it was always kind of like that same generic response. Just eat less and work out. Once again, thanks for that groundbreaking piece of information. I never thought of that. Also, I want to point out that I do 100% understand that having internal dialogues about food is not necessarily an issue for most people out there. However, for me, it was, because I've said for years, all I do is think about food, what and when I'm eating, never wanting to eat what I planned because I felt like something was better out there for me. And, I would cave into some of those cravings. And I was always craving something sugary all the time. I always battled with, why don't I have the willpower to say stop it? And then on the other end of that spectrum was, I actually never really, I thought about it, I never had an off switch. I always felt I was hungry. And that could be because I was thinking about food all the time. And then I was like, how can you be successful at losing weight and maintaining if you can't shut down this food noise that you hear all the time? And this is where Mounjaro played a major role. I read that people who are constantly dieting tend to have higher levels of food noise. I was always on a diet or talking about losing weight for years. And then I read that if I lost weight, cut back on eating, get in that calorie deficit, the food noise would go away. Not the case for me. Also, I felt like it wasn't about self-control or willpower anymore because Mounjaro kind of worked its magic and I took care of the rest. And then, when you look up whether medications like Mounjaro and Zepbound, or, you could even say Wegovy and Ozempic, it says these might quiet food noise. And it said it's done by, restoring the gut-brain connection on which, it's going to be weakened in people like me that have battled obesity for years. I think this needs to be talked about more. I've always tried to be healthy. I knew how to be healthy and to lose weight, but I always battled myself on eating and putting in all this effort to silence the food noise, which, looking back, I can now say that's exhausting. And, not only, to be around myself because, I always talked about dieting and when I'm starting my next diet because losing weight was never enough for me because I couldn't shut down the food noise, of which why I always gained the weight back. Now that I'm not consumed by the thoughts of food, I'm just content in what I had planned to eat. Also, with the food noise out of the picture, I was less likely to snack, which is, and still can be sometimes, my biggest weakness. And Mounjaro cleared most of those thoughts out within days. And comment below if you've had any reduction in food noise while, if you're taking Mounjaro or Zepbound for weight loss. Was it instant or did it happen at a certain dose? But for like me, I'm forever grateful for this medication, as I've always called it my assistant. It was there to just silence, the things out that needed to be silent. And, I got to work on the other areas that I could actually control. But what I find fascinating, and I've said for years, if somebody could quiet my constant food cravings, that I can do the rest and the weight would fall off. Now I am 16 months into taking Mounjaro, and I kind of want to start looking for ways that, yes, I can still repair my relationship with food and understand more. And I just want to understand more where these possible cravings could originate from. I just want to learn more about how can I control food noise even while I'm still actively taking Mounjaro. Or possibly Zepbound or tirzepatide. More to come on the changes I'm going to have to make in the near future. I'm still working through, a couple things, and I'm going to do a video on that in the near future. But what I realize is that there are moments where, cravings kick back in, and that could be a couple days post-shot, along with just some additional feelings of hunger. So I started to do some research on ways I can try to stop food noise. And I want to practice them and use them as just some everyday habits. Now, I'm not saying these will help me get off Mounjaro, but I think it can help me improve, in the area of some food noise reduction and setting myself up maybe for some success when I do get into that maintenance period. I also think this is a great idea while you're actively trying to lose weight on Mounjaro because as I've heard, and I keep seeing more and more on, some of the Facebook groups and Reddit, you can decrease your dose or duration of the medication can lessen some of these benefits like reduction in food noise and some appetite suppression. So let's get into some of the steps that I'm going to be taking to reduce food noise. My first step is really simple. It's just to identify whether my food noise is actually a hunger signal or if I'm feeling bored or tired or I'm using some food to, fill a perceived need. If I think my food noise is more like emotionally based, which I do believe it is, then I'm, talking with a therapist who specializes in this should be my top priority. And I've actually started this process and there's more to come on that as well. The second tip is that having a mindful eating strategy could help. When I hear, food noise and then I decide what to eat, I want to pay attention to the foods that I'm eating. What is the texture? What is the taste? Am I actually enjoying them, or am I just eating as, say, some part of a habitual response to an emotional need? The third tip is acknowledging, food noise and maybe turning my attention elsewhere. Go for a walk. I might sit on my balcony and read, do a training session with my pup. But I also created a nighttime routine to take my mind off of snacking because I realized I don't know how to relax and settle without, a little bit of food. Or at least that was the old me because I was an evening snacker. And the fourth tip is to notice any physical cues of hunger. Is my stomach really rumbling because it's been several hours since I've eaten? Or am I low on energy? Do I feel a little lightheaded? If that's the case, then maybe my blood sugar is dipping and it is time to have a little healthy snack. I started being mindful of whether I was actually hungry, and then I would drink some water to combat it. And then times I would, think about, what have I eaten so far that day? What do I have left on my meal plan? And if I'm still very low on calories, I would have some popcorn or an apple or a protein shake, something just to add some additional healthy calories to the mix. And just getting in tune with your body helps. When I was low on calories and I had a healthy snack, my body always responded positively to it. The last and fifth step is to eat small healthy meals and snacks just throughout the day, because it says eating every few hours can help you feel satiated, can help reduce food noise if that food noise is related to hunger. I have been eating smaller meals pretty much from day one since I started taking Mounjaro for weight loss. For one, I think it's helped me hit my calories for the day. I tend to feel a little bit more full, and I actually perform pretty well in the gym. I also think it's helped with, the fatigue and the nausea, because I was fueling my body properly. But like I always do, I took it a step further and I incorporated a new device called Lumen into my routine. And I've heard so much about this product, and I reached out to them to just see, could it help those that are also on a GLP medication like I am on Mounjaro? Basically, it's a device that lets you measure your metabolism in real time. I saw that, it said hack your metabolism. I was like, I've got to try that out, because I'm living in this bucket where it's like, here's your calories for the day, and then I roughly know how much protein I want to consume also in that day. And then from there, it's really just kind of a guessing game. You're plugging and playing different foods. And I've been using Lumen daily, and it's just providing me insights to how my nutrition, sleep, exercise, even stress levels impact my ability to burn fat. I don't know why, but I've always wanted to learn more about, what changes in my lifestyle I can make to just be in better control of my metabolism and overall health. I find that for me, when I go very, very low carb, I'm exhausted and I get a weight stall. But then I'm also worried if I eat too many carbs, I can see that scale number go up. And this has just been a very fun journey for me, seeing my readings throughout the day. And I get so excited when I wake up in the morning and I blow into the device and I see I'm in a state of a fat burn. And then I usually test myself before I go on my morning cardio to see if I'm still in a fat burn, or if I've extended my fast period a little too long, which means then my body is stressed. And in that case, I just eat a little something to fuel my body. I still have so much to learn, because it is a very powerful device, and I need to just be more consistent, with using it, and just keep gaining those additional insights into when my body should be burning fat versus carbs. But I want to trust the science and follow the recommended daily macros. I don't feel like, each day this is like a one-size-fits-all approach to how I should be eating. And, I will have to say my workouts have been like incredible now that I'm a little more strategic on when to eat or snack prior to, say, a lifting session. It's really just another tool in my toolbox, and there's nothing I love more than health and wellness tech to try to improve my health. And I want to do everything I can to set myself up for success, not just, for the remainder of this year, but for the rest of my life. And I'm going to put a link in the description and a 10% off discount, with my discount code KETCHUM. But I'm going to be doing a full review of Lumen, and I just think it's a great addition to, if you're taking Mounjaro, Zepbound, or even Wegovy or Ozempic, but more to come on that. But I hope you found these tips helpful and inspiring on your own journey to better health. It is not surprising to me that just quieting my food noise has allowed me to not only lose, weight for well over a year and a half. I've lost over 35% of my starting body weight, and I am slowly, like a snail, crawling towards my 100-pound weight loss goal. Please remember to subscribe, like this video. It just helps me out greatly. Stay tuned for just some more updates and tips on how you can achieve your own weight loss goals with Mounjaro and Zepbound, through the things that have worked and hasn't worked for me. There's a lot that hasn't. But thank you so much for watching this. I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.